Did the age difference concern either of you or no?
Not in like the slightest bit. I mean, I like older guys. Maybe have daddy issues, who knows? But no, Joe was he was super down to earth, and he doesn't act like, if he was 55 at the time. He didn't act like a 55-year-old. He had the energy of a 25-year-old, and that was he was fun to be around, and that's really all that mattered to me.
When you met Joe, this was just weeks after Travis's passing. Was he still
a few months? Yeah,
that was a few months.
Yeah.
Was he still grieving at that time, and did you help him sort of process that?
Oh, 100%. And he would talk about Travis a lot, and then he'd apologize to me, and I'm like, no, there's no need for you to apologize. This is something that was very traumatic to you, and Travis was very special, so I want you to be able to talk to me about how you feel. And the whole back room of the house was like Travis's like man cave, so I had all of Travis's stuff in there, and he told me, he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take this stuff out, or I'm gonna move it over here. I was like, no, just leave it. Leave it how it is. I completely respect your relationship with Travis. I know he was taken away from you without any choice, and I'm not gonna expect you to change how you feel or try to act a certain different way just to make me happy, but because I want you to be happy. And it was a big deal. So I was super supportive about his relationship with Travis.
You sound like a very understanding partner.
Thank you. I try to be. I mean, it wasn't a perfect relationship all the time. Don't get me wrong. We did banter sometimes, but it was mostly because his ex John was always coming into the house whenever he wanted.
Yeah,
which was not the case.
Well, I'm curious about that because you were there, and there was an ex John who was there. Was he respectful of you and your relationship with Joe?
Yeah, he never really got in between of Joe and I, purposefully, I guess, but it kind of made me uncomfortable just knowing the situation that Joe had with John, and how John really wasn't respectful of Joe, and kind of took advantage of him, and knew that Joe absolutely loved his daughter Kimber, and they would use Kimber to threaten Joe. Kind of, they'd be like, okay, well, you don't do this, then you're not going to see Kimber. So it was very unfair to Joe, and it wasn't good to see him, because he was absolutely heartbroken anytime they wouldn't let him see Kimber. And that's really what pushed my buttons, was that John kind of felt entitled, and took advantage of the fact that Joe loved his daughter more than anything.
Yeah, that must have been frustrating for you.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Well, was it also strange seeing, there was so much back history for Joe, but was it strange for you at all seeing his relationships play out on screen, or seeing the moment he married two other people, or you just...
No, so Joe was very open about his entire life with me. There was no secrets from, his past relationships, and, it was never anything I kind of drilled out of him, but it was something that he wanted me to know to make sure I was comfortable with. And, whenever I found out that he was in a 3-way marriage, I was like, that's kind of weird. And then I was like, would I do that? So, I mean, it was up in the air. I just kind of go with the flow and see what happens. And I mean, everything was good between Joe and I, so.
Have you two agreed or even discussed opening the relationship, or has it been a strictly, we're not going to see other people?
So we've had the conversation, he's like, I don't want you to be alone. I know how hard it is. And I'm just like, I don't need anybody to do that right now. I'm kind of focusing on me and what life has to throw at me, because I mean, I've been through a lot. I'm only 24 years old. Nobody ever would have expected that this would happen, or that, my life would be this way. But he said, if you ever find somebody that is important to you, and you think that you need to move on, I'd be okay with letting you do that. And so even if it did come to that, and I did find somebody and I moved on, I wouldn't just stop talking to Joe. He'd still be a part of my daily life.
He's not worried about the attention that's coming with the show that maybe you're getting to, or that's not even on his radar?
So his best friend Anne, she's like a grandma to me. I call her grandma. She said, she got to talk to him while he was in there too, and what he's really worried about is backlash coming on me. But I mean, I'm pretty strong for a 24-year-old. I'm not gonna, I don't look twice or think twice about the things people have to say, because at the end of the day, it's still my life, and I'm gonna be doing the things that I do. If you don't agree with it, you don't agree. If you do, then kudos, glad to have you here,